So, we're on to the last section of our Relearn packet, and this is the section that deals with graphing. It's obviously a super important section that everybody should be able to do well with. And without any further ado, let's get started and get it going there. So, when I graded the test, most people did really well on questions A and B, but we'll go through them anyway. And if you didn't, then hopefully you'll by now be pretty good at them. So what I notice here with number 20A is it asks you to graph y equals 2x minus 4, and the general equation of a line is y equals mx plus b. M, we know, stands for slope. We just did a whole lot of work with this. And it's how you move. B stands for the y-intercept, and it is where you begin. So B for begin, M for move. So for the graph of A, I have to begin, because my y-intercept is -4, at -4. 1, 2, 3, there's -4. And notice, it's called the y-intercept. So you touch on the y-axis. Some people go over here. That, folks, is an x-intercept. We're not dealing with x-intercepts right now, because it's called an x-intercept because it's on the x-axis. The y-axis is the axis that runs down the middle. The x-axis is the axis that's horizontal. The y-axis is the vertical middle, I should say. So we want to be on the y-axis, which means I want to be right here at -4. And then I'm going to move according to the slope. So this is B, -4, and the slope is 2, which is really the number 2 over 1. So I'm going to go up 2 over 1, up 2 over 1, up 2 over 1. And I'm going to keep that pattern going, up 2 over 1, up 2 over 1. On the back side here a little bit, and connect the dot, and there is my graph. Okay? All right, so next up, y equals -3/4 x plus 3. Y equals -3/4 x plus 3. So in this case, the slope is -3/4, and the y-intercept is +3. Remember, M for slope, -3/4, B for y-intercept, +3. So again, I begin on the y-axis, there it is, +3, right? 1, 2, 3. And then I'm going to go down 3 over 4. Down 3 over 4. On the back side is right there. And there is my line to be graphed. Okay? And again, on the test, you guys did a very good job by and large on those particular kind of questions. So to me, that means that when you have y equals mx plus b, that format, you know what to do. Within that format, it's really important that you realize everything has to begin with y equals. I can only conclude M and B after I see that it begins with y equals. Now, why do I say that? I say that because look at the next 2 lines you're supposed to graph. The next line you're supposed to graph, remember, it's supposed to be in the format of y equals mx plus b. The next line you're supposed to graph does not say y equals, like this one does. It says y plus 1 equals. And a lot of people put down that the y-intercept was +1. But you can't do that because the 1 is not in the right place. It's supposed to say y equals. It says y plus 1 equals. So my first step is to subtract 1 from both sides. Now I get y equals x minus 1. Now, and only now, because it says y equals, can I do my slope and my y-intercept. My slope is the number in front of the x. It does not include the x. It's the number in front, which is 1, which is the same thing as 1 over 1. And the y-intercept is -1, not +1. So I have to begin here. On many people's tests, they began at +1 because they didn't take the time to get the y equals format that we have to have. Up 1 over 1, up 1 over 1, up 1 over 1. We always want to try to go long enough to fill in the whole graph. And a little bit sloppy there, but there's my graph done. Okay? Now, the last thing that I have to do
got shout?
No, I'm actually talking to the wall here. I'm doing my Relearn packet video.
Sorry.
No, don't worry about it. So the last thing I have to do is I have to get the last one in the form of y equals. And what's stopping me here is it says 3y equals. So I need to divide everything by 3. And that gives me y equals negative 4/3 x plus 3. Now, because it's in that form of y equals, everything has to be in that format. I can say that the slope is negative 4/3, which means down 4/3, and the y-intercept is 3. Look, format's everything. You know format is everything. If you want to get something from your parents, you know there's a certain way you have to approach mom. You know there's a certain way you have to approach dad. If you try approaching dad the way you try approaching mom, you're not going to get what you want. And if you try approaching mom the way you'd approach dad, you're not getting what you want. There's a proper way to do things whenever you want to get something out of the deal. If you want to graph right, you absolutely better make sure, before you attempt to graph, that it's in y equals mx plus b form. Now that it is, we begin at 3 on the y-axis, 1, 2, 3, and I go down 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, over 3. Down 4, over 3. And I connect the dot, and there's my graph of y equals negative 4/3 x plus 3, which was originally 3y equals negative 4x plus 9. Okay? 2 last questions to do, and that's where I drew the graph for you. And I asked you to tell me the equation. And on your Relearn packet, I have to copy these down because I didn't put them in this email I did here. So, I didn't put them here either. So let me make up 2 real quick for you. Okay, here's 1. And here's another one. And now we're working backwards. We still want to get y equals mx plus b format, but when we want to get that format, now I'm showing you the picture. So what I'm really testing to see if you can do is look at a picture and figure out slope and y-intercept. I always like to do the y-intercept first because it's so easy. It's where you cross the y-axis. In this case, it's at 2. And the slope, I'm going down so it's negative, and then I'm going to go down 2 over 1, down 2 over 1, so slope's negative 2 over 1. And if I just plug in the negative 2 and plug in the positive 2, I get y equals negative 2x plus 2. And last but not least, I cross here, which is positive 3, and I'm going up 2 over 3, up 2 over 3, up 2 over 3. So my y-intercept is 3, my slope is up 2 over 3, or 2/3, and I get y equals 2/3 x plus 3. All right, so you know the drill. Get this Relearn packet done. Do a great job. Identify your weaknesses, straighten out what those weaknesses are, correct them, take the retest. We completely drop the old test grade. Brand new grade replaces it, and we kick butt, and we get off to a great average to start the marking period. Good luck, everybody.